All right, so this is a brief tutorial video just to get you acquainted with the course, get you acquainted with Moodle, and to talk a little bit about how we're going to post in discussions and what the expectations are when it comes to discussions. Um, so when you log into the course and you click on the course from your Moodle homepage, you're going to see a page that looks similar to this. So the course is going to be organized in sort of flowing down fashion. So each week is going to appear below each subsequent week. So here we've got the general course introduction. Scrolling down, we have our first week's worth of material. Next week's material will appear below this. The format of the course is going to follow this sort of structure. There will be some kind of header here that'll introduce the topic, and then there will be a video that will accompany some kind of text material. So here we've got the syllabus introduction video, and when you click on this, this will just walk you through the syllabus, and you've got the actual syllabus linked here. This unit here on Introduction to Online Learning is similar to what the online lectures will look like. Typically 20 to 30 minutes online lecture every week. There will be a YouTube video that will be embedded in Moodle, and then down below you will see the notes that accompany that video. Also new to Moodle this year are these little checkboxes over here. So these are little checkboxes that you can use to keep track of the things that you've done. So if you've watched the syllabus introduction video, you can put a check on it. And that way you know you've already done that. One interesting thing about these little checkboxes is some of them I can actually set restrictions on. So for example, to complete the first week's discussion, you need to make a post and you need to reply to 2 other people's posts. And the little checkbox for completing this won't appear until you have done that. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. If you see this little indicator right here, that means that you haven't completed that activity, whatever it happens to be. Okay. So now we'll go through and we'll talk about what these discussions look like. So we'll click on this link. This little symbol here implies a discussion, and we'll click on the link, and this will take us to the discussion page. So each week there will be some kind of discussion, and it'll begin with a prompt. So I will initiate the discussion by posting a prompt. This week's prompt is the introductions prompt. So to get to know each other better, we're going to post a brief introduction of ourselves, and we're going to respond to 2 other members of the class. In addition to posting your introduction, you're also going to address the following questions and looking over the course schedule. What are you most excited about? And what do you think the most challenging aspects of the course are? So once you've looked at the introduction, once you've looked at the discussion prompt, and perhaps if a couple other people have posted, you've also looked at their posts, what I encourage you to do is open up a Word document and write out your post. It's a lot easier, I find, to write these posts in a Word document, and then what you can do is you can copy them and paste it into your post. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and written out my introduction post. So then I'll click reply over here in the corner, and this will take me to the reply. Okay, so I've got a subject. You can change the subject if you want, and I've got my message. Okay, now to paste this, Moodle doesn't allow you, not all browsers allow you to paste directly in here. So I'm going to use Control V on my keyboard. Whoop, I used it twice. And that will post my response in here. There are also tools that you can use if you want to just type out a quick response in here. If you click this little button, it'll give you more tools. So you can bold and underline. It'll spell check. There's a lot of fun things you can play around with in here. Okay. Down here on subscription, I recommend that you, especially if you are in the habit of checking your email frequently, I recommend you select send email copies of this post to this forum. That way, when someone replies, it'll send you an email. And when you see that email, there's actually a link in that email where you can click on it, log into Moodle, and then reply directly to the person. And that'll be one way to stay engaged in the discussions. Did the discussions allow you to attach files? But I discourage you from using that as a way to post your discussions. Not all students are going to have Microsoft Word. Not all students are going to be able to view all files. So the best way to post your discussion is to just either write it out in advance and paste it into this message box, or type it into this message box. Once you've done that, you can click Post to Forum, and you'll get this: your post has been successfully added. And when you go back to the discussion, you should see your post underneath the prompt. Now, if you want to reply to a student, let's say you see this post that I've put up here introducing myself, and you want to reply, you can hit reply down here, and this reply will be nested underneath this response. So it'll appear as if you are responding to this particular person, not by clicking up here, responding to the overall prompt for that week. If you have questions about how the discussions work, make sure that you email me, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or you can post your questions in the discussion, and I can answer them that way as well. So we'll talk briefly about grading discussions. So you'll see down here sum of ratings. Each discussion post prompt is worth a total of 5 points. I will, when I go through and I read the discussions, I have an option to rate each discussion and assign points. And the way that I do this is using the grading rubric that's found in the syllabus. So when we click on the syllabus, typically what I'm looking for in a post is something, a meaningful contribution or a substantive post, right? This is something that goes beyond just I agree or a good idea. These kinds of sort of 1 or 2 sentence sort of doesn't really contribute anything to discussion posts. Okay. The number and frequency of posts will depend. It'll vary from prompt to prompt, from week to week. But you should be really shooting for at least 1 or 2 really substantial posts every week. Now, how do I evaluate what's a substantial post? Well, I use this grading rubric, and there are 5 pieces to each post. So we want the post to be prompt. We want it to be, prompt as in within 24 hours, early in the week, right? Not the hour before it's due. The delivery of the post, we want it to be grammatically correct. We want it to be relevant to the discussion topic, following the instructions of the prompt. You want to express opinions clearly and concisely, making obvious connections to the topic or to other material or to other students. And you want to have a contribution, right? You want your posts to be meaningful. Attempting to motivate the group discussion, spur on discussion, creative approach, right? All of these over here are 1 point each, right? So if a meaningful post is going to have all of these wrapped up into it. And then you lose points for, losing different pieces of this. So substantial grammatical errors, or being off topic, or unclear, it's unclear what the connection is, right? Unclear in your clarity of expression. Okay, so early on in the course, as you're posting these discussions, you want to make sure that you're looking at this grading rubric to make sure that you are posting meaningful contributions. So that should be it for discussions. If you have questions, as I said, email me. The discussion for this week is just this introduction that I've shown you. So now go ahead and go through and post your discussion and check back over the course of the week and make sure you reply to your fellow students. And the discussion will close on the 31st. I believe that's this coming Sunday. And when the discussion closes, the discussion is closed. There are no late discussions possible. So if you miss the discussion, you've missed the discussion. There's no opportunities to make up discussions. So make sure that you stay on top of this and post early and often.